Hi lovers, hi, how are you guys doing? Yoma Daniel here. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel, guys. I did not speak to you guys in a very long time. So I'm going to use this time or this moment to chat to you guys. Let's talk. Let's talk. I'm having a banana. I only have, if you followed my other eating clean, I'm left with 2 bananas and 1 cucumber only from whatever I took in the morning. So yeah. And I'm not hungry. I'm fine. Guys, name. I want to speak to kids growing up in town. If you are a child and you're growing up in town, gather here, ne? We have a meeting. Let's talk. Ne? Why do I feel the need to speak to people that grew up in town? Because I grew up in the village and I look at kids that grew up in town, and I sometimes look at these kids and I'm like, what went wrong? You know? And I sometimes look at them and I just wonder what really went wrong. And I'm talking about people that grew up in town with parents that are better off. Ne? Example, people that grew up with parents back in the days. If you grew up in a house where there is a nurse, yeah, or a teacher, back in the days, ne, you grew up okay, ne. Business people too, business people that are doing businesses back then, you are doing okay. But I'm mostly concentrating on people that grew up in these houses, business people, nurses, teachers, because back then those were, and also police officers and ne? Because those were the careers back then. Back then, these accountant staffs and engineers, these ones are coming. They came, after our parents. They came after, when our parents were there. I'm not talking about us, the 90s, and us that were born back then, not the 2000s. Ne? Um, when you are in families and the surroundings, you look at these people, and I really sometimes look and wonder what happened to people that grew up in town. Ne? To my understanding, people that grew up in town, they were supposed to be doing way too much better than us that grew up in the village. But if you look very well around, there are those ones that are doing good or that have really done good, more especially with school. But the number is not, when you look around, or maybe my surrounding is giving me a different, it's probably giving me, my surroundings probably giving me a different view, ne? But I don't know about your surroundings. Maybe I'm talking way too much from my surrounding. No, people that were in cities and in towns when we were at the villages. When I look around, those people are not. And I want to speak to people that are growing up in town to say that please look at yourself and consider yourself lucky. Ne? That you are growing up and being raised in better environments, and that your parents are providing for you. Now, this is the advice that I have for you. When your parents are doing good in life, put it in your brain that your parents' life is not your life. Ne? I need to speak to you guys and give you advice. Your parents' life is not your life. It does not mean that because your parents are doing good in life, you are also going to be doing good by virtue of your parents doing good in life. You still have to work hard for your own future. Your future is in your own hands. Your parents, God can decide to take them any day, any time. You need to, have your life figured out. Now, I need you to do one thing. Consider yourselves lucky and take advantage of the fact that you are the lucky ones, chosen ones, to grow up in better environments. Ne? And take advantage of that. If you are to study hard. Education, back then, we were raised with one statement: education is the key. So that's why to us, we leaned more on education, because education is the key. Education can be the key because still it opens you up to understanding things and life better. But I want to tell you now, it might not be too much of a key because now the graduates are in the streets. Ne? When your parents are doing so good in life, take advantages of, gather as much knowledge as possible. If you can do sport, do sport. If you can gather swimming classes, gather different activities, do a sport. Ne? If you can educate yourself on different type of things, if you can even just be on the internet, you guys are even growing up nowadays with Wi-Fi's and. If it means you must, with technology as well that is creating job opportunities, if it means you must create content, do more research, and equip yourself and create content, Also, don't play with your education, but just multitask, Also, education is the key. Educate yourself. You have that degree. Have those degrees, because you just never know where your luck is. Ne? But why really am I telling you this? Because I think looking back now to my age mates who grew up in town, most of the people that I'm seeing that grew up in town, these people. I came from my village without understanding childhood traumas. And then I come to these educated people and they have too many childhood traumas. And sometimes I look at them and I say to them, do you know what we went through in the villages? And we don't call that childhood trauma. I'm not saying your childhood traumas are not relevant. I'm just saying do not play with life and go collect nice words just to suit the fact that you played with life. Ne? Now I look at people that grew up in town and I have to, sometimes I just the other day I was talking to someone and I said, do you know what we went through in the villages? Let me just give you a little bit of a story. Yeah, we when we are going to school, my parents were teachers. They're on retirement now. They were both teachers. I consider myself lucky because I was born by people that could give me basic needs, but they taught me that I shouldn't take advantage of that, and I didn't. I was a child that listened to my parents. Until today, I listen to my parents. And even the other day, I was speaking to my mother just last week, and she said one thing to me. She said, Hilma, there's one thing that I'm very, very proud of you. You know how to handle funds. People of your age, there are people that get paid, but what you are doing, what you do with your money, you know how to handle funds. And I was honored. And I was honored that my own mother recognizes that, because I even myself, I'm like, I know that about myself, that I really, really, really handle funds very wisely, and my mother was like, you handle funds very wisely, you are very good with money, and I was like, thank you very much. I was very, very happy to hear that from my mom. But let me take you to our growing up just a little bit. for me to tell you about my parents, it's because then there were moments where my father had a car. There were moments my parents did not have a car. There were moments where they had a car. There were moments where they did not have a car in us growing up. So there are moments where my father, now what happens is that my father drops us together with my mother to school, because we schooled where my mother used to teach. And then my father proceeds to where he teaches, which is a little bit distance from our house. My mother teaches closer to the house. So this is what happens. When you, when the car is okay, my father drops us at school. He goes to school, but we foot back home. When the car is not okay, we foot to school. My father foots to school. Let me tell you one of the most challenging things in both our lives. Our houses were surrounded by mashana. How do I call this in English? You know, when it rains, there are those places that the water traps. And then it becomes way too a lot. This is now us going to school. You will have to leave your books at school. You have to leave your books at school. There are shoes that we used to put on. Sometimes we just walk barefoot because it's water everywhere. The foot ongakota vizimu. If you walk with shoes, the shoes will English is not from here. Guys, understand I'm a village person, so you understand what I'm trying to say. Ongakoha vizimu ne. So now this is us. You know, Otopichomea, you are so small and you have to cross that water or that river. Sometimes you are too small. Sometimes the water is up till here. Sometimes the water is until here. My dear, you have to walk in that water to go to school. Education is the key. Ne? And I remember there were moments where my father used to go ngashine with my father. There were also moments where he used to leave the car at one houses far because he cannot cross with the car. The water is too much. Ne? So what my father does then is he leaves our car somewhere at one house, and then he crosses the river back home, and then he, finds the car there, and then he drives. My father used to go with it's called it's like a plastic outfit. It's yellow in color. I remember it very well. It's yellow. So what he does is that he ties it here by the ankles with the plastic so that the water doesn't enter, because he's having official clothes. And he have to put on that thing, and it's raining, and he have to walk in the rain, and he have to cross those waters. But my father had to go to school every day. There was never a day that I did not see my father going to school. Ne? I think he was also born with a very, very good immune system, because I didn't see my father sick, like he's on sick leave or something. He went to school, And also this is just a little bit to say that, guys, let us not take our work for granted. Let us work hard. There are people that had it not easy in life. And that is, for example, my father. He had to cross the water, We had to go to school. Our water was better, but it was not worse like my father. My father had it very bad, We had to go with plastics. What are town people doing? They pass by the road. They go to a school that is nearby. They did not go through this. But we do not call this trauma. It was just experience. It was our life. It was normal, But other people would say, I'm very much traumatized. I have childhood traumas. I had to pass through the waters. You kids of nowadays, sometimes I want to think you guys are too spoiled. But don't come for me. I just want to let you know that life, sometimes if you think life is hard, life is harder for somebody else. Now this is us. You come back from school, you have to cultivate during rainy seasons. We have to cultivate. Tozika Skora coming from school, after study, you are resting a few minutes, you go and cultivate. You are resting a little bit, you go and pound mahango. You are resting a little bit, you have to go cook dinner by the fire. You have to go look for firewood to come and cook. What are town people doing? They are coming from work, they are watching TV. School, they are watching TV. They had a lot of time on their hands to study. We did not. Ne? And I feel most of the people that grew up in town, they didn't take advantage of that. When you think you are having it difficult, other people are not having it easy. And I remember during when it's dry during summer, and there are moments where like us who did not grow up in a house with boys. We only had one guy at that time who Geronimo, may his soul rest in peace. We had one guy who grew up in our house. We found him there when we were born, and he was with us until I think we passed grade 12. So that guy stayed with us for a lot of years, no? And he became part of the family. So us growing up, we didn't look at him like a person that works in the house. So some of the time, while he's cultivating, we have to go and look after the kettles. Or the time where he is kohambo, I don't know what ohambo is called in English. So when he's at kohambo, us, we have to look after the goats at home. Now, there are moments when the rain, it gets dry, and the animals need to drink water. We had to go and dig those omithima. We had to go and dig omithima for us to go and give these animals water. Ne? Us as women, we were doing that. I was doing that. Don't look at me and think I'm a town person. I'm not a town person. I did that. On those holidays where I'm coming from secondary school, other children are going to their houses to watch TV. Us, we are going to dig holes in tatuka horira. Yeah? I don't know what you call that in English. Going to give those water, the kettles. Ne? And there were moments where we used to sell. My parents are teachers, but I used to sell. We used to sell. On holidays, my mother is a very, very hardworking woman. We used to sell. Sometimes she goes to the rivers Komirongahui and she go look for fish. And then she comes home with those fish. Then we go sell those fish. And sometimes she used to have a lot of pigs in the house. And then on holidays, we slaughter some pigs. We go and sell by the cooker shops. And, we get money to go back to school, and I look at why people in town, what are they doing? I am not talking about people in town with parents that are struggling. I'm talking about people in town with parents that are doing good in life. I gave you an example of teachers and nurses. Those were good people. They were like people doing good in life. Why did I tell you this story? Because I really look at people that grew up in town with us, and all they do is speak good English and Afrikaans. Because now I look at people and I wonder, I don't want to judge people, but then I feel like town children need to be spoken to say, appreciate what you have, appreciate your parents, appreciate the good environment you're growing up in. But there's one thing that I also need to tell you, to say that also put it in mind that your parents, we as parents, when we are giving you the soft life, don't take that for granted. We are giving you the soft life because we did not have it growing up. But don't think it's a soft life for you to just relax and not want to do anything with your life. I'm talking to our children's. Look at that soft life and take advantage of it and say, wow, my mother or my father, my parents worked so hard to give me the soft life, which is good. Can I then take it up so that I give my children the soft life? Do not make a mistake of thinking that your parents are providing for you. Who's going to provide for your children? I feel the need to speak to town children, because I feel like you are the only thing that I need to caution you of is that you are exposed to so many things. You are exposed to so many things that we were not exposed to. You are exposed to drugs, you are exposed to alcohol, too much of it. Some of us growing up, Pepe Narundu, Daka Kambane, where they sell tombo and whatnot, and beers and whatnot, but not so many cigarettes like I'm seeing in the cities and towns. You come here, the next person is smoking cigarettes. Maybe if we are to give people tests randomly, children are doing drugs. People are doing drugs. If we are to just wake up and give people random tests and say, come, all of you, we are testing you of drugs usage, I wonder how many people's things are going to come out positive. You are exposed to so many things. So maybe what we need to caution you is that don't be present everywhere. Ne? Try your level best not to be present everywhere. You know, that statement have helped me a lot in life. You know, I am not present everywhere. Know where you are going in life. Know what you want to achieve in life. Those things have made it easier for me in life that I say, even if you are my friend and I like you and you happen to be doing, I've been friends with people, some of them, that I hear things that they don't do around me. And I'm just like, are you sure you are talking about the same person? If you are to be with me, then let me influence you to be a good person, not the other way around. Because I'm so much content in myself, I know what I want, you know, in life. It's very important to have self-confidence and to know what you want. So that even if you walk in any place, it's not going to change who you are. You know, it's very important to be content, to have self-confidence, you know, so that wherever you go in life, you cannot be changed by people. I tell people that I am not going to be changed by anybody. I know what I want, and I'm not going to be changed by people. And I remember also the days that I was growing up, there are guys that used to invite me. Like, you know, when a guy wants you, they be like, can we go out? Can I take you out? But I remember I had this one friend of mine, this one, he took me to, I keep telling him, I don't like bars, man. Hilma, let's go. It's just one of those moments. Let's go. I will buy you kapana and I will buy you. And one day he took me to a place and my phone was two-fingered or pocket-fingered from my and it, you know, it's a phone that my parents bought for me. I was still a student. I'm not working, you know. And I told him from there, see why I told you that I don't like bars. I don't like these places. They're not nice. You know, and also when you are with them, they want you to drink alcohol. When you're telling them, guys, I'm not drinking alcohol, please give me juice. No, we are not buying for you juice, you know. Sometimes, and I thank God that I went, because it proved what I've always believed in, you know, to say that these places are not nice. People get drunk. They start talking a whole of rubbish. They start talking things that are not adding 1 + 1 is not equal to 2. They start doing things that are not okay, you know. And I don't like to be with people that are drunk. You know what I did? I started distancing myself a little bit. The guy, they never saw me. I'm like, no, I'm running away, because what is this? You know? So please, don't be all over the place. Ne? Sometimes it's okay to go and observe, but be independent. Be an independent thinker. Ne? Be an independent thinker. Even me, during those moments where I could go, I'm like, guys, if I'm having a drink, 1 Hunter's Gold, that's enough. Otherwise, give me juice. If you're not giving me juice, I'm going home. You know, because you cannot make me drunk. Why are you making me drunk? I must be drunk and I must not think. Why? You know, it's very important to know what you want, children. Today I'm talking to kids. I'm not talking to elders. It's very important to know what you want in life. Know the friends that you are chilling with. If you pick up that, don't let people change you into who they are. You know, I've had different people around me growing up, but one thing, I never gave somebody the key, the permission to change who I am. I don't care who you are. I can be chilling with you and people think you are what. And I'll still be doing good in life. I'll still be, you know, because I say to myself, I am not going to allow the next person to change me, you know. I am not going to allow somebody else to change what I am, to change how I think, to change how I do things, you know. I am me and I must remain in order. If you are messing up and you are next to me, well, mess up if you want to mess up. But as we are going, Life still have to happen. With you messing or up or not, one day you wake up and stop messing up. As we are going, you will find us gone. And by the time you stop messing up, you say, thank you so much for carrying us far. You know, thank you so much for carrying us far. Can I take it up from here? That's if anybody even ever chooses to stop messing up. But apart from that, guys, life is not easy. Ne? But in all honesty, your parents' things are not your things. Ne? I never ever had it in my mind to say, my parents are teachers. No, I walked with my brain that I have to fight for my future. I have to fight for what is good for me. I have to try my level best to get a better future for myself, for my children's. It was never a thing of saying, and I always grew up in a house where there was a car, but I never even, drove my parents' cars because my parents' cars are not my cars. I have to go and get my own car. I always had it in me. I want my own things. I want my own things. I want my own things. And I never had it in me to say, I want, even when I am working and God blessed me with a job that could afford me a house, I was like, I'm buying my own house. I didn't have it in me. And I remember I received a whole lot of questions. Who will marry you? Why are you buying a house? Men will be scared of you. Men will be what. And I said, it's okay. It's okay. My husband will find me working. If he finds me and he have his own house, I will rent it. I will rent mine and we'll move to his house. If he abuse me, I will leave and come to my house. If he mistreats me with his family, I will leave and come to my house. It's nice to have your own things. So guys, do not take advantage. Do not take advantage of good parents. Name kids in town, even now with our children. I want to tell you this: the children in the villages are waking up early in the morning. They are still crossing those rivers because the rivers are still there. They're still pounding mahango after work. And we used to study on candles. Now most of the people in the village, they have electricity, but not all of them. It's only for those that are privileged. Some are still studying on the candles. Some are still coming to cultivate, and some are still, more especially now that things have changed so much, there's no water. There are still people that are digging those boreholes for the kettles or the animals to drink water. Ne? When you think you have it difficult, others are having it more difficult. Ne? So I'm speaking to people in town and people in the villages. Don't give up. There is the light at the end of the tunnel. Is that proper English? And you see, I even find people laughing at us because apparently we speak broken English or whatever. And I say to these people, you must even thank me for even finishing a statement properly in English. Because us in primary school, we were taught in Oshuambo. Because our teachers also by then, they didn't know proper English. We learned these things on our own by listening to people that are speaking. And I remember the people that used to laugh at us, they were just laughing at us, but they're the ones that understood English, and they failed the school. When I don't understand that, how do you fail with your so much nice English? What happened? And you were not doing the things that we were doing in the villages, too much work. We had so much labor to do. What happened to your nice English and your beautiful Afrikaans? What happened? Hence, I'm saying, do not take advantage of good parents. Be children that listens. Your parents have worked in this life and they know what is good and what is bad. Some of them have made mistakes, but the ones that have made mistakes, don't say to them, you also have made mistakes. No. Listen to them and say, oh, so you worked this bad journey and you are telling me not to do this. I won't do that. Also observe. Not all parents are good parents. Observe them very well and observe and say, this mother of mine is drinking too much alcohol. I don't want to be a drunkard. Or you must look at your father and say, this father of mine, I don't want to be like my father. You do not need to be like any of your parents. Ne? create your own future. Your future is in your own hands, but what you should do is that appreciate good starting. And most of you that have your parents that left you with, money, don't drink up that money. Use it to grow yourself, for your future, for the kids, stop selling things. You people of towns, you don't think. People of towns, you and selling things. You people don't think. If you are okay in life, think about others that are not okay in life. Think about your children's. Think about your children's. Think about your children's. Ne? You don't sell things. I've never seen people in life that like fast money like town people. Town people like money. They don't think about the future. They just want money now. Now. I want money now. And then you chow it. Tomorrow wealth. Yeah, guys. Let me not make this long. It's already long. Town people, please. I want you to look down into your traumas. There are people that have really suffered, and there are people that have not suffered. I'm not saying people in town have not been abused. No. I'm not talking about those ones that have suffered. No. I'm talking about traumas of people who grew up with both their parents doing good, providing for them all the basic needs. But as we speak right now, they are under drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and all they keep talking about is traumas from where we do not know. And also, I need you guys to take time and study drugs very well. Do research on drugs. Ne? Don't touch those things, my children. Don't touch them. They will mess you up. Don't touch them, because most of the children from wake-up homes, they chill at the wake-up places. And at these wake-up places, that is where you find these things. They are exposed to them by virtue of just being a child of the parents that worked hard. Already, you are already exposed to unnecessary things. Please do research. Don't touch those things. Don't touch those habli. Leave them alone. You do not know what people have mixed in those things. Leave them alone. I was with a lady one time, and she told me how she started doing drugs. And I looked at her, and her boyfriend is doing drugs, And she tells me that she was just chilling. More especially those boys also. Do not be a woman that chills with boys. Let the boys be boys. Let them go and chill, Don't follow them. Don't be too wake up. Those people most of them are irresponsible. They don't think properly. Now, the child is telling me she was just apparently, not a child, she's a woman. She's in university by then. How many years back did I speak to this lady? If it's not 2019, 2020 there. She's saying she was chilling and people were smoking habli. And she started smoking the habli. Next thing she see her knees are heavy. And next thing she can't walk properly. And that was the beginning of her doing drugs. Ne? And I looked at her and I felt really, really pity for her. She's a woman. She's very beautiful. She's pretty. And I'm like, I really asked her, how did you get yourself in this mess? And she had to tell me the story. So sad. Be very careful with men also. The men that you chill with, be very, very careful. Those guys, they will make you do things. Ne? Just choose your people very, very wisely, and choose people knowing what you are doing. It's very important to know what you are doing in life. Ne? Know what you are doing, or else you will find yourself in places that are not that will be very, very hard for you to come out of, and then you will just be singing depression. You will just be singing childhood traumas. But I want to tell you that we too had it. We didn't have it easy, but we do not walk around blaming our parents for anything. No, we don't walk around saying, why did you allow us to go and look after the kettles? Why were we digging holes? Why were we walking until the water here? Other children were not doing it. No, we don't. We appreciate the little that our parents have done for us, and then we took it up from there. So it's very important for you to appreciate what your parents are doing for you, and then you take it up from there. Ne? It wasn't up to us to say, why are you making us? There are those moments where we could go sell. We are going to sell pigs with our lips that are here, angry. But what can you do about the situation? It's okay. You know, you look at it and you say, oh, I don't ever want to sell these things. You know, I want my own life. That is okay. And then you grow up again and then you realize that you even you yourself, you come from work and then you would want to go and sell something just to make extra money, you know. Actually, I needed to speak to young children in towns that please do not take advantage of the fact that your parents worked very hard. Please take it up from there. Ne? Take it up from there. People in town, I feel like most of the people in town that I know, I would say you guys have played and you've played pretty bad when your life was easier than us in the villages. Ne? I don't want to judge you. I'm saying you had so much privileges. Your English was so good, you understand. Us, we used to memorize. You don't understand nothing. You can say a statement, but you have to go and write that subject which you do not understand, but things have to be in here. You must understand what is what, you know? What is what is what is what. You don't understand, but you must try your level best to go and pass. Ne? You must try your level best to actually go and pass. I see the boys are starting to come play their soccer here. Yeah, that's it, guys. Ne? That's it from me, Hilma Daniel. I will see you guys in my next video. Why did I make this video? I actually want to encourage people or children that are growing up in town that you guys are lucky. You are the lucky ones. Please do not take advantage of the fact that your parents worked hard to provide for you what things that they didn't have. It's because when we did not have specific things, we were like, no, this is too hard. And we are making it easier. So please take it up from there. Don't relax. Ne? Don't, and also choose your friends and your people that are surrounding you very, very wisely. And I keep saying that now because you people are educated, you want to let go of God's hands. Ne? You do not walk without God. Even if there are too many theories happening in the world, don't be defending unnecessary theories. And for us parents, let us not deny our children the opportunity of knowing God. Let us not deny our children the opportunities of knowing God. Some of you don't walk around with too many propagandas of life and questioning unnecessary things. With God, trust and believe. Hold on to Him. Ne? And your life is going to be, He will direct your paths, or your path or your path. English is not from my village. At least I'm trying. I'll see you guys in my next video. Ne? That's it from me, Hilma Daniel. And for those also that have messed up so bad, try your level best to clean up. It's never too late. Make decisions and clean up. Ne? That's it from me, Hilma Daniel. I will see you guys in my next video. That's bye.